title I put to the YouTube video this week? Speaking of, hey YouTube.
No.
To the YouTube video? No. It's not the same.
Yeah, I like. No, well, I put episode number 124. I'm back, or something like that, and then I put something about despite being thrown under the bus, I'm still alive.
Oh, I was going to say there was a YouTube video last week.
No, I'm saying this one here.
Oh, okay.
What I meant to do, of course, I was out in Tennessee running around with Carter in the car while we were listening, and I wanted to get, when I got back, to write down all the 4 times that I got thrown under the bus so I could refute each one, but I did not do so.
I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of fun. It was kind of fun.
It was. I laughed out loud. Carter's like, why are they keep talking about you?
Was he getting defensive on your behalf? Like,
no, he was kind of laughing. But he's like, why do they keep doing that? I'm like,
were you listening to it on the car ride, you said?
Yeah, no, we were out running errands, like picking up stuff at the grocery store, and he was in the car with me, and so I had it on the speakers of the car. Because I knew this is a safe podcast to listen to in front of your children.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, but usually. Wait, what happened? What did we say?
Nothing. I'm being funny.
Oh, I thought
I edited it out.
Okay.
Josh did say shit on
so there.
Yeah, there was
Wow.
There was a thing that happened at the end of last week's episode, and it was an accident, and I'm very sorry.
Sorry, YouTube.
All right. You got the Audacity ready to go?
Yes.
I edited it out. It's not in there.
Yes. All right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 124 of the South Dakota Gamer Podcast. I am Chad. I am back. I don't know if Josh is giving me hand signals. He looks frantic. I don't know what he's doing. He's flipping. He's giving me gang signs. Okay,
just keep going.
I don't know what he's doing. He's there. Apparently, he's having recording issues.
Just keep going.
So this will be fun. I would rather start over.
I mean, yeah, we can do
honestly.
That. Okay,
let's start over. Wow.
I was just gonna jump in.
Just getting like.
It was like giving me error messages. I had to close it down. Wait, it's still giving me error messages. I'm gonna have to.
Chad, so excuse me. So, like the end of last podcast, I totally made up a Back to the Future quote and then put music to the end of the podcast.
I noticed that,
and that didn't happen. I was like, "That's not what he said ever." Because I went. I looked.
Made was a made-up quote.
I looked up the.
What did you say?
I kept saying. I looked up the principal, and I'm like, he did say that, right? I'm like, I already recorded it. I got to use the music. It works too well.
Yeah,
I forgot. I forgot what he said. He never said it's going on your permanent record. He always called him a slacker, and something else. But he always called them slackers, just like you.
Right.
Your father was a slacker.
Yeah,
you're a slacker.
Yeah.
But,
okay, I'm ready.
Just the fact you said Back to the Future and then the music, it really didn't matter what the quote was.
Right.
It was just that you said the title of the movie and then the music. It was like, this is good.
Well, it was right when Josh said the quote is when I started it. Also, did you notice how the podcast started out?
Yes, I did. I was like, of course. Of course he would. Freaking Sonic the Hedgehog. Let's try this. Take 2.
Okay, here we go.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to episode number 124 of the South Dakota Gamer Podcast for July 4th.
Oh, wow.
I am one of your hosts.
As soon as you said that, fireworks went off outside my window.
I had that planned. I'm one of your hosts, Chad Viss, back from being underneath the bus. I have survived. I'm still alive. No matter what you do, you will never tear me down. Joined, as always, Dave Mann and Josh Owens.
Yes, as I well know, Chad is indestructible. Not even the truth can take Chad down.
Wow, Dave is really hard letting it go.
Also, I've had 30 minutes of sleep in the last 24 hours.
Chumbawamba.
Yeah, you get knocked down.
Yeah. Great early 2000s reference. I like it.
knocked down.
Whoa, we're going to get a YouTube strike. I am back. I was on vacation last week. I had fully intended to record the podcast. I brought the microphone. I brought the camera. I did. You can ask my wife.
Went
She rolled her eyes.
Couldn't get a hold of him for passwords. Couldn't get a hold of him for just
the passwords that I've given out numerous times. We're gonna go the
I
passwords.
don't keep track of your passwords, Chad. That's your personal business.
It's the South Dakota Gamer YouTube page. It's
your personal
well known. No, that's
because we signed. Because you told me we signed in through the Google account, which is your email.
Right. South Dakota Gamer at gmail.com. Feel free to email us with any questions, comments, or concerns, which is our South Dakota Gamer email address.
Which
Not
Chad
my
runs.
personal one, I promise.
Chad, do I have access to all the Patreon supporter money? No, I don't.
No, what you want to? I give you the password to
no,
PayPal.
I'm just saying there is a hierarchy here. You're at the top. It
Okay.
trickles down.
But I have given out the password to Google to both of you numerous times, but that's okay. So the reason I was not here
What's the password to my PSN account?
is
Chad?
I have it written down.
No, but you don't have it.
I have it written down.
I have it written down
Look,
too. I just
okay.
have to go through all these texts.
Do this. Here it is. No, you forced me. You forced my hand.
Well, you're not going to read it.
I have no, but
Do
I
it.
have a list of do it. I have a list of all the passwords. So if anyone steals this book or zooms in, whoop, I have all the passwords for a lot of my accounts there.
Wow,
Your
keep them all in a
PSN
book. That's not wise.
being one. Yeah. Well, I'm not calling out your not wise being on your phone, but
I actually don't. Mine's not on the phone. It's in a
I
text.
thought you said you have it. Oh, your texts aren't on your phone? Oh, that's
It's on my
weird.
computer. No, I've deleted it off my phone.
Oh.
Because otherwise,
Anyway,
it eats up all
the
the other
reason-
storage. That big,
The reason
yellow monster of other that
I
takes most of the space.
didn't
That's why I delete my
make
text.
it because my father-in-law booked a charter fishing boat at 5:30 a.m. on Tuesday morning, and it's an hour later there in that part of Tennessee, so I didn't foresee being able to do that. So actually, when Dave was texting frantically trying to find the passwords to Google, I was asleep already. So that's why I wasn't there. So you're welcome for all this nonsense at the very beginning of the podcast. Aren't you glad I'm back? We're going to get right into this week's episode. There's some real good stuff that we have to talk about, and
I hope you're ready, Chad, because you got some catching up to do. This is going to be a Chad Viss heavy episode. Chad's going to do new releases.
So, Dave, why don't you tell us about the
Chad's gonna do
giveaway
topics.
that we have going
Chad's gonna
on
do the giveaway.
for this week? Take it away, Dave.
We're giving away a PS4, everybody. Like
Yay.
we said before all these times, if you haven't figured out that we're giving away a PS4, you've not been listening, and you don't deserve to win it. Also, I've been doing some research, meaning I have been reading off of Chad's research, and I found out that there's some of you that just simply are not submitting entries. You're not taking advantage of the very simple ways to get extra entries into this contest. And so some of you are just being straight up pulled out of the contest at random by me. And that's not happening. But anyways, for the month of July, we're in a new month. And as I said in the last podcast, the old way of getting an extra entry in the month of June is now gone. So if you didn't do it, too bad. The new method, which was a thought that appeared in Mr. Chad Viss' mind after he was raised from the dead miraculously from the bus. Did I say I've only slept a half hour in the last 24 hours?
You did just now.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, what
He's
did you
going to fall
tell me?
asleep during the
Oh, no, it's at the very top. The
Yeah.
new method is to submit a question or a topic for discussion at some point during the month for the podcast, period.
verbatim. Verbatim.
That would be your new method of entry. Also, remember, as always, if you support us over at patreon.com/South Dakota Gamer, you can get an extra entry for each of those months. I do want to point out, because it's very frustrating to myself and I think maybe the listeners, I seem to have a problem saying words like slash and South Dakota at the same time. Sometimes I say schlass, and sometimes I say South Dakota. I don't know why. That was in last week's podcast. I just said it again. But anyways, yeah. Try to say what's Ocelot's alias in Metal Gear Solid 5. It's very similar to the old man from Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Oh, Sherlash, yeah. Sherlash,
something like that.
Right.
It's ridiculous, these names. It's ridiculous. But anyways, patreon.com/South Dakota Gamer and get your Patreon support in there for an extra entry in the month of July. Other than that, like I said, all you got to do is submit a question or a topic at any point throughout this month. And keep listening because, as always, there is a possibility to get random bonus entries. But you got to pay attention. You got to be there. You got to put in the effort.
You got to want it. You got to want it.
PS4.
Do you want it? Do you want it?
Otherwise, I'm just taking it for myself.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for the giveaway.
Chad said I'm an equal owner. I have access to all the money now.
Yeah.
So I'll just split it between me and Josh. Chad's had it for long enough.
I'm rethinking giving away passwords to certain things all of a sudden. All right, let's get into the new releases this week, brought to us by our good friend Andy. Here's the second reason I got thrown on a bus. I didn't provide a word of the week. So that is on me because, well, actually, yeah, no, it's on me. It's in the email, but that's on me. So, Andy, sorry I missed you last week. I got thrown under the bus for it. So we have this week's word, Boreas. Not Aurora Borealis. So that's completely different. Aurora Boreas is the word of the week. Josh, go ahead and tell the people what that means.
Ouroboros. Okay. This word refers to, okay, so you know, like frogs, right?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Frogs. Okay. Well, they're cousins, the slightly uglier cousins, the toads. They've got these things on their back. They're kind of bulbous, right? They're just little like bumpy things. Yeah. So the substance that fills the inside of those bulbous protrusions on a toad's back, that is a substance known as Ouroboros, and it is a viscous gelatin-like substance that helps them be buoyant when they are swimming in the lakes and ponds and streams that they are used to. Because they shouldn't go chasing waterfalls. They should just
wow. What is happening? This is the week of referring to music from the late 90s, early 2000s by Josh Owens. Okay, that's good. Dave, you got anything else, or are you good?
I'm very tired. I'm very tired, Chad. I will say, just by looking at this offhand, it appears to be a disease where you no longer have the capability of being porous, meaning you cannot absorb anything whatsoever, and your skin dries out and you die. Also, one might say the study of this would be Ouroborositis. That's not true. It would be Ouroborosology. Ouroborositis would be the condition of having Ouroboros syndrome, which is not being able to, like, for example,
okay,
you go out into the wild, the breath of the wild, if you will, and the sun starts to shine on you, got to get nutrients, right? All of a sudden, skin has got this condition. It's just not taking in any of these vitamins whatsoever.
It's bouncing right off.
It's almost are like a mirror. You're just reflecting everything back out. But you can't. It's not caught on the visible spectrum. You can't see.
Yeah, it's invisible light. Right. Yeah.
Right. So it's not like, everybody looks like, Edward Cullen when he stepped out in the June day sun. But it's where I had this in a fever dream earlier today about this.
Minutes ago, really.
Yeah, because it wasn't a dream from sleeping, because I haven't done any of
right.
that. So
he actually saw it happen.
Yeah. It's bad. I'm telling you.
So you want to know the real
serious condition?
You want to know the real thing?
I would love to hear.
You both are so. I mean, you were both so close. It's on Wikipedia, so it's true. It's called
Wikipedia.
It's a circular symbol depicting a snake, dragon, swallowing its tail as an emblem of wholeness or infinity.
Oh, right.
So the snake eating its tail symbol.
Yeah, I was close with the reptile family for sure.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, frogs are amphibians, but it was close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Totally. So there you go. Thank you, Andy.
I was also correct.
Yeah, you're almost there. Right.
Because
nailed it.
If you have Ouroboros
your tail,
you won't be able to absorb yourself like the snake does.
Why did you just do that motion?
Because it's a picture of the snake going in to its own mouth.
Oh man, if you're not watching the YouTube video,
you're missing out.
Missing all of it.
Imagine if I had a giant Chinese finger trap, but it went over my entire forearms.
Let's not do that.
Except
that sounds
it went like that.
Sounds like a very secure. That's
unless I couldn't pull them out unless I went like this. Because as you know, like in the book Where the Red Fern Grows, we learn that when raccoons put their hands into the little can and you open it downward, it spikes down and they put their hand in to get the little shiny, put like a coin in there. They're like, I want this. They grab that coin. They make that fist and they can't get their hand out because it's caught in the can.
Don't
lid.
Nope, stop.
Right. That?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Great like analogy. That's like a finger trap. That's like a borealis.
We've got some really good thumbnails now for this video.
Yeah, they're capturing a few of those. All right, so the new releases this week. Ouroboros. As far as I was aware up to today, actually, there are no physical new releases that I'm aware of coming out this week. Everything that's on this list, I'm pretty sure, is digital only. The only exception might be the Kirby game. So a lot of these games, there's not a whole lot. July is very dry. That's how you can remember when it comes to video game releases. Dry July. So Dave, quickly run through this list if you can still read it.
First of all, Chad, that's you.
All right.
That is
the first one.
No, what I told you that new releases was you.
The first one. That's you.
You're not going to do them?
Like you said.
It's just so
first
happens
of all,
the first release.
That's you.
Who's on first, Chad?
I don't know.
Okay.
Third base.
That's you. PS4 on the 4th. I'm reading these as they are written. Speedrunners for the PS4 on the 5th. Kirby's Blowout Blast on the 3DS on the 6th.
That sounds like the situations Chad and I were talking about on our last Topics cast.
Yeah. Kirby blows out a lot of stuff. Like he sucks stuff in.
That sounds...
Kirby.
No wonder he does. I mean, with his diet, he eats everything.
Yeah, he like inhales everything.
Yeah.
And then when he spits stuff out, when he like blows stuff out, does he also blow like wind, or does he just blow out whatever he like inhaled? Does he blow like if he?
It's kind of like Yoshi.
Like, well, I know,
Yoshi
like
spits out a turtle shell.
Yeah, Yoshi will spit out a turtle shell, but so he spits out the same thing. I can't remember, or if he spits out something else. Like, does he spit out fire if he like eats anything?
I think he can spit out other objects besides what he inhales.
So, anyways, he's not just spitting stuff out. I mean, this is a blowout blast. Anyways, Kirby's Blowout Blast for 3DS on the 6th. Also on the 6th is ACA Neo Geo Metal Slug 2. See what they did there, Josh? Metal slug like a gun. Also metal slug like a slug on metal.
right.
with 2 of them.
And also like a rocker slug.
And like also like a slug when you punch somebody in the face. And when you punch somebody in the face, you make a fist like raccoons do when they grab the coin inside of the can.
No.
And they can't get it out.
Nope.
This title works on so many levels.
Also, when you put salt on slugs, it's interesting. Let me just say that. Also for the Switch on the 6th is a Vaccine, which is one of the only games on this list that I looked at earlier today. And it looks kind of like it's an old Resident Evil type game. It's kind of like the old school Resident Evil, except it's more top down, and it looks like zombies and weird like liquor type creatures. And you have, like the liquors from Resident Evil, Chad. You're looking at it, you're like, I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, the whole liquor was it took me a second.
There's a scene where you're walking through the police department and it's a 2-way mirror, and all of a sudden the liquor jumps through, and it scared me really bad. Anyways, that's what it looks like, and you have an inventory management and all that stuff. So that'll be available on the 6th. And also, is this pronounced Sheffy or Sheppy?
I'm pretty sure the PH is a sound.
For the Switch on 6. Not all the time, Chad. Not all the time.
No, but you asked, and I said, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Also, on the 6th, for the PS4, is Toby, The Secret of Mine.
I hate Toby. Stupid Toby.
Yeah. This is all about Tobey Maguire and how he thinks the Spider-Man franchise is his.
I was going with Toby from The Office, Toby.
No.
Really?
Toby's dead. To me, anyways.
Right.
We don't talk about it.
That's why he's in a secret
also, line. On the 6th, for the Wii U, is the Revenant Saga. Also, on the PS4, on the 7th, is Save the Ninja Clan. Apparently, the Ninja Clan is not a very good Ninja Clan because they need help. They need saving. I don't know if it's
from themselves.
Now, when I think Ninja Clan, Chad, I think the Foot Clan. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Mm-hmm. Shredder's Army. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what.
Could use some help.
When Turtle Power came out, they needed some saving. I'll tell you what, Chad. Am I right?
You're right. You're not wrong.
All right. I am not wrong. Hey, Josh, what song does that make you think of?
Stand By Your Man by
False.
No?
I was thinking at least one of the Vanilla Ice songs from the actual movie.
Dang it.
You would have gone with.
I was so close. I was really close.
Also would have accepted the cartoon TV show theme song.
Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go. I think we've played that on this podcast.
That's back to the.
That was going to be my next choice.
Right. Yeah. So is that it, Dave? Surprise.
That's it, Chad.
All right. Good job.
That's a great release month. July. The dry July.
So
yeah.
I looked up That's You because I thought I remembered seeing something about it, and it was the game that I thought it was. It's like a kind of a party game type thing. According to the PlayStation blog, it's already released, but it's nowhere to be found. So maybe it was released physically, and it's coming digitally.
I don't think it's been released yet. I don't think it has a physical release at all, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, it's very similar to like the Jackbox games. One person plays with the controller, the rest of them will play on their phone and or tablet.
Yeah, it looks fun.
And there are games that you can play that way. Yeah, and it's the first one that's done, using a new system that they have. I forget the name of it, but it's the first one using that particular system.
Well,
free to download
for PlayStation Plus. It says.
Yeah. Okay.
Free for PlayStation Plus. Yeah. The blog says release date 5/7/2017, but they're obviously mistaken.
All right.
Either way, it looks fun.
Well, yeah, should be interesting. It's free. Might as well. All right. So that brings us into, there's not a whole lot of news this week, so I decided to throw in, I assumed it'd be real quick after the beginning of the podcast. Mm-hmm. may not have turned out to be the case. But a little topic. Obviously, today, the time of this release of this podcast, it is July the 4th, Independence Day here in America. And although we do have many listeners from Japan, konnichiwa, here in America, Independence Day from England. That's tyrannical rule. No taxation. So I decided to
without representation.
Yeah, right. I just wanted to ask you guys quickly, what is the most American video game ever?
Broforce.
Yeah, that was. I have a list, a few of them written down. Yeah, no, good.
Well, Broforce. I did pull up Broforce just because I thought the little description under gameplay would be a quick explanation as to why I chose this game, and I will read it to you.
Please do.
In my fast read voice. The player character is a bro. A hyper masculine action. I was a little bit slower though because I won't be able to.
Yeah, that's. You look like you won't be able to breathe.
The player character is bro. First of all, this is a side-scrolling run-and-gun platform video game developed by Free Lives and published by Devolver Digital. For those of you that don't have this game, it's a fun little game. But anyways, the player character is a bro, what they call it. It's a hyper-masculine action hero-style commando who fights terrorists and rescues his bro teammates and prisoners of war from captivity. The game's destructible environments wear away with the player's gunfire. The levels end when the player defeats a double boss, hoists an American flag, and leaves via helicopter while the scenery explodes. The Broforce initially includes several characters, and the player earns more as they rescue a certain number of prisoners of war. These Broforce characters, under direction of Nelson Brodella, are parodies of fictional action heroes, including, and here's like several classic American action heroes.
Best part of it.
John Rambo, Die Hard's John McClane, Chuck Norris, Mr. T, Aliens' Ellen Ripley, and Terminator's T-800. The Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator, not the what's his name? The T-1000 guy, the liquid metal guy. I forgot his name.
Yeah.
The actor's name, anyways. Great actor. I like him in lots of different stuff. Anyways,
Bob.
They are often named by adding the word bro to the original names in some manner, e.g. example. What's that stands for? Hey, real quick, guys.
Side note,
to go to gamer trivia. Obviously, it means giving an example. But what does E.G. mean? Example given.
Very self. Makes sense.
I think that's what it means. Rambo Brummer.
I think that's what it means.
Anyways, it's a pretty fun game. It's available on Microsoft Windows, the OS X, Linux, PlayStation 4, and
exempli gratia, which means
it made sense though. For example, given, right?
Which means, for example,
so single player and multiplayer, guys. Have you played this with anybody?
All right, Josh. I've played it. I've not played with either of you, but I have played it myself.
I haven't played it with anybody either. It sounds like it'd be fun, or it seems like fun to play.
I wonder if it's more than just 2 players.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's like 4, up to 4. I beat it.
That'd be cool for us to play.
It would.
It's a lot of fun. It gets chaotic, and there's a lot of replay value to it too. Because you just keep unlocking new heroes, and it's fantastic. So Broforce was the first one that came to mind for me. But since that one's already out there, my mind went way back. How far back are you asking?
How far back?
To the Gold Rush, Chad. That's right. Oh. I'm talking about Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail.
Dysentery and winters and all kinds of
cannibalism.
Yeah, but cannibalism and shooting buffalo. And
all the American staples.
You better have a doctor in your party because people are going to get the dysentery. Yeah. And then you got to guide your raft down the river at the end if you make it that far. You got to repair those wagon wheels.
It's American exploration, for sure.
That was
good one.
One of the games in my early childhood gaming days. One of the games I spent the most time with. And I remember the first time I ever actually made it to the end, because I was real bad at it.
Yeah.
When I first started playing it, and then I actually made it to the end once. And that was a big day for me. That was a real big day.
Red letter day for the Owens family.
Yep. So
little Joshua made it to Oregon.
I was proud of myself.
Yeah. Cool. I wrote down a list. I had Broforce on there. Oregon Trail is a good one. I hadn't thought of that. One of the first ones that popped in my head was Assassin's Creed 3.
That
Liberty
crossed my mind.
I mean, General Washington's in that game. Red Dead Redemption,
also
very American.
Yeah, also a good one.
Cowboy.
I didn't go with Far Cry 5 because it's not released yet, but that's one that was on my radar.
That'd be good too. And then after I had my list, I decided to do a little internet search, and apparently the most American game you could ever find in the entire world is a game called Metal Wolf Chaos.
Okay.
Come out 2004 on the Xbox and PC, but in Japan only. How can a Japan-only game be the most American game ever? Well, let me tell you about this insane, crazy, wacky game. You play as a president of the United States.
Awesome.
And as a president of the United States, you have to protect America, president of the United States, who is evil and trying to take over America. And how you do that is when you get in your Metal Gear version suit. And there are so many guns on the side of this metal suit that you blow up the White House, you blow up these tanks, and it's insane. So it's very American, but Japanese take on America, and it's hilarious. If you have a moment, look it up on YouTube. Metal Wolf Chaos. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll be proud to be an American.
Do you know in your research of this game what system that's for?
Xbox and PC.
All right. Well, I actually might check that out. Yeah, that sounds kind of fun.
It looks. I'm trying to think. It looks. I mean, it's original to Xbox, so it's very polygonal looking.
Mm-hmm.
It's an open world-ish game, 3D. You can go all over the place in this mech suit. Like it has, you envision mech suits with wings and stuff, and it comes out where you get like rocket launchers, right, coming out of it. But you have pistols and machine guns and rocket launchers, and he just you could do this move that just blows up entire buildings. It looks like it'd be a lot of fun. It's out there though.
Two games I didn't think about until just now that I do think are pretty American games. Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, very American.
And Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, like I said.
Oh, I didn't hear you say that one.
Yeah, that one
must have been when I got my text.
Dave's taking miniature power naps in between questions.
In between blinks.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
my girlfriend sent me a text. I was asking her in the midst of all of this American talk. I said, "Do you have any plans for the 4th tomorrow?" And she said, "Working all day." So I went to send her my favorite emoticon, which is just the face with the closed eyes and the closed mouth, straight line mouth,
Yeah.
But somehow I think it was because I was entering in stars for one of the games that Chad and I played later. So it was set to celestial bodies, and I accidentally sent her a full moon instead of a face.
All right.
Yeah, not my full moon.
Saucy.
But
it's subliminal messaging.
An actual moon. Which didn't make any sense. I had to explain to her.
Let us know.
You
should have left it at that. I would like to hear her response to that.
Where is it?
What does that mean?
Where is it?
And those ears zoomed in real close.
There it is.
And then I put hashtag, and then I put the right one.
Hashtag?
Asterisk.
Oh, yeah. I'm very tired, guys.
Hey, guys. Red Dead Redemption.
After this, I'm going to Taco Bell. I'm not going to bed.
That seems like a poor choice.
I haven't
5-hour energy.
I haven't eaten all day.
5-hour energy.
So, guys, just so you know what happened to me, and I'm not
okay.
I didn't do anything illegal.
I don't know. It sounds like it.
He air quotes. I didn't do anything. Air quotes illegal.
I didn't. I just
you're not a commercial driver.
No. Yes, I am. Gosh, they already found me.
Yeah, I know. They heard you.
Quick. So I woke up. I woke up. I went to bed at like 8 in the morning yesterday morning, and then slept until about 2, and then I drove the guys to the day, and then went to sleep at about 6, and then got up at about 8:30, and then I've been up since 8:30 last night. I did on my way home in my car. I made it 30 miles from my house, and I had to pull over because I just wasn't.
Yeah,
it was like, gee whiz. But the thing is that my car has a little bit of a problem. I need to get a new one. The air conditioning's not working very well. So as I'm sitting there in like 90-something degree heat, I was sweating, and so I wasn't sleeping very well, and so I sat there for like 30 minutes, in and out, dozing in and out. Also, it didn't look like a very good area. There was some shady characters walking around, and I kept waking up looking at them and stuff, and so I just had to leave. But anyways, I made it here, and then instead of going to bed, I listened to It Feels Like the First Time podcast. And I wasn't tired when I got here.
Huh.
I think it's because my mind has just ceased to continue working like it normally does. So, Chad, Diablo 3 tonight?
Oh boy, geez. No. We start that up, Dave wouldn't even get out of the town. He would be asleep. This guy would be rolling in a corner. Yes,
a new
I do. It's in the we'll get to here shortly.
Oh man, I missed.
So that's all for the topic. Happy Independence Day. All you don't blow off any fingers. If you have to work like Dave's girlfriend, I'm sorry. I also have to work. The rest of you bums have a good time not working. Okay, so we have the new Xbox Gold games for the month of July, and also the PlayStation Plus games for the month of July. Josh, since you're wide awake, alert, enthusiastic, why don't you tell us what the free games are for this?
Man, I would love to, and I'm going to tell you what, I'm excited about this list. I'm going to tell you why. Because first of all, we got Until Dawn on the roster, and that's a real good game. And if you haven't played it yet, this is your chance. It's fantastic. You should play it. And it's not that scary, but don't play it with your fiance / wife that hates scary things, because she'll get mad and you'll have to turn it off. So don't do that. But it's a really good game. Somebody told me that. That's not firsthand experience. Somebody just told me that. Up next, we've got Telltale, Game of Thrones. It took me a second. For a second I thought it was Guardians of the Galaxy. That is not true. It's Game of Thrones, which I've heard good things about. I haven't played it myself, but that is also on the roster. Up next, we've got Tokyo Jungle.
Oh yeah.
And that just sounds it's a jungle in Tokyo and all the fun that can be had there. And then you got Darkstalkers Resurrection. Darkstalkers is actually a pretty good game. I haven't played Resurrection, but awesome. Element 4 is up next. 4D1? Is that 1?
I think it's supposed to be a clever way of spelling elemental.
Oh, I got it. Elemental is also on the roster. Don't know anything about that. Don't Die, Mr. Robot is a game that's also... Let me go back. Don't Die, Mr. Robot is the last game on this list. It's a game that I was reading about, and so I'm excited that it's on this list. I realized that I hadn't said it was on the list before I was going to say I'd read about it, and that was kind of a non sequitur, and people wouldn't know that I was talking about a game that was on the list. They might have thought I was just randomly talking about a game I was reading about. It's on the list, and I read about it, and it seems cool.
So confused.
That's the list.
You read the Xbox list?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right before. No, that's fine.
I skipped all the way down to PlayStation.
Xbox list is is Roman numeral 4, and he just pretended like
all the way down to PlayStation because I was really excited about it.
He's a Sony pony. Yeah. Josh the Sony pony.
I'll take it. I was just really excited about the PlayStation Plus games. For July, for games with gold for Xbox, we've got Runbow. That's a fun play on that word. Grow Up, which I've heard a lot of good things about. Lego Pirates, which sounds fun. And Kane and Lynch 2. The Kane and Lynch games are awesome. Kane and Lynch 2.
There we go. All right. So those are our free games for Xbox and PlayStation. You can download those beginning today, both of them. So please do so if you want to play free games. All right, that's going to bring us right into the news that you can use.
If you so choose
to do so. He's asleep, guys. That's why. I promise.
I said it.
All right, so I know you did. There's only a few items on the news list this week. Pretty slim pickings as far as things happening. But a few things I did want to bring up just shortly. We've predicted back at our E3 prediction show, Dave and I both did, that we would see something from Visceral's new Star Wars game at E3, which we did not. And we're awarded no points, okay? From Evan. Wonderful, Evan. 0 points, okay? So, Star Wars, newsnet.com. There's an article out that has some rumors and leaks.
It's strange that we didn't get points because EA was at E3. I mean, hey,
a quarter of a point.
EA was there. So, right. I mean, if we would have ended right there, we would have got a point. So, he kind of had to have given it to us, right? I mean, that's how.
So, Visceral, Star Wars Newsnet.com has some information on the new Visceral Star Wars game. They found out that it was originally supposed to be a Han Solo story, but then when obviously the Han Solo movie coming out, they changed that and added a new character.
You could say, Chad, that they dodged a bullet.
Bingo. The name of the new character is supposedly Dodger. Hence,
strange
tie-in.
Now, I mean, like, I will say, like, back in the day, I remember thinking Dash Rendar was kind of a weird name, but it grew on me as I played the game.
Sure.
What was that game called?
That was Knights of the Old Republic, right?
Or was that was no, it was.
Was that the Jedi Knight one?
I don't think so. He wasn't a Jedi. He was a smuggler. Dash Rendar. Yeah. I can't remember what it was called. It was the 64 one, I think, the N64 Star Wars game.
I remember Dash. Shadows of the Empire, maybe?
Yeah. I think that was it.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I think that was it. So Dodger, I mean, whatever. I mean, obviously it's probably a nickname. I don't know.
Yeah, they're saying it's an alias that only we know at this point. And the game is taking place between A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back.
Yes, and I think we very confused on another podcast I listened to where somehow the story just could not get straight. Didn't make sense for it to be a survivor of Alderaan and take place before New Hope.
Right, fair.
So yeah,
as sometimes happens in this podcast, we say things that aren't true.
No,
we're always checking
this podcast.
Why? That's not fair. I don't think. Why would you say that?
Everything from this podcast comes from Wikipedia. There's nothing on this podcast that is untrue. Everything that is not true is said by Chad, therefore it is true, according to the gospel of Brian said.
Man, his soul can't let it go. So
that's because every time I listen to the podcast, it's brought up again.
Dodger is from Alderaan.
Banner around.
Which, as we know, Alderaan was
let it go.
Has exploded.
Chad always says something over and over.
Happening anymore. I'm not really sure if this is true or it's just Dave's lack of sleep, but I would say it's a combination of both. So he is a smuggler type character, dodges Imperials a lot, so he sounds a lot like Han Solo. But the way it looks, I mean, for the screenshots, or I guess probably more artist rendering of concept art, it's going to look fantastic. It looks like it's going to have some Assassin's Creed type climbing stuff possibly in it. You're going to have a crew. They also did here. I saw later. There's another character, like a secondary character, that's going to be very important to the point where.
Sorry, go ahead and finish that statement.
To the point where they may make, if this game does well and they do a sequel, the secondary character may be the main character for the sequel.
I had heard a rumor early on that because of this second character, there also may be a co-op aspect to this game.
Sure, that would be cool too. So, I'm guessing we're not going to see this until fall 2018, maybe even later.
I also heard conflicting stories about the actual rumored story. I mean, obviously they're all rumors, but like there's the story that obviously he this article specifically talks about having to raise money and all that stuff. But there was something else I read that, and I don't know how this fits into the the canon of Star Wars, but him being a survivor of Alderaan, like I read somewhere that someone in the Empire was like trying to hunt down the survivors of Alderaan. Like I don't know why
I saw that too. I don't know either why they'd want to do that. But maybe that's part of the plot of the story. Maybe there's something
unless maybe they're just like it's as simple as like we don't want any witnesses to know that we blew up this planet.
Sure. Or we don't want anyone trying to retaliate that's from Alderaan or something. But yeah, so a little bit of leaks here there that are coming. It's exciting. I look forward to playing the game whenever it does come out. So we will keep you up to date as we find out anything we find out from the same places you can go, the internet. So next on the news list, Breath of the Wild, that awesome Zelda game, received some new DLC this weekend. The first of 2 parts of the DLC pack that costs $20 was released Friday evening, or Thursday evening, Friday morning. And I know Dave has played a little bit of it and downloaded some of it, as have I. So just to kind of run down the things that are available, which we've talked about before, but just to remind you, you have the Trial of the Sword, which you go through. It's basically like a horde mode to an extent. You go through, I think, 45 different rooms, starting off with nothing. You have the Master mode, or the hard difficulty mode. You have the Hero's Path, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit more in detail later. You have the Travel Medallion, the Korok Mask, Misko's Treasure, which there's other masks and other outfits that you can get, including a Tingle costume, which people in the game react very weirdly to when you have the Tingle costume on. And that's the most of the things, and there's some treasure chests here and there that have things in it as well. What do you think, Dave? We'll kind of tie this into what we've been playing a little bit here since we're talking about it. But for me, the Hero's Path is like the best thing so far that I've enjoyed, which it basically gives you 200 hours worth of your path, little green line on the entire world map, and you can see where you've been and probably more importantly where you haven't been.
Yeah, that works really well. I really like the feature. Not only does it show you where you've been, but it's constantly updating it. I mean, I've not gone over 200 hours yet, but it goes up to 200 hours, and then your oldest steps get erased as you put new steps down. But up until that point, you can rewind your path all the way back to literally your first steps out of the hibernation chamber, or whatever it is. So it's kind of funny. You can change the speed on it. So it's really cool to follow your see how you're going around, and it was like, oh, here's the moment I took my little hang glider and I went off the plateau into the Breath of the Wild, and you can see like how your journey, like where you went first and how you, and then there's like giant, huge areas where it's like, man, I've never even gone there. I went completely around it, didn't even go in it. And then earlier today, I started playing it just a little bit before the podcast, and I got like 4 new shrines just because I went up to an area. I was like, oh, I can't believe I didn't look at this.
That's awesome.
Found 4 shrines within 10 minutes. I also finally got the barbarian midsection. I had the pants or the shorts, whatever, boots and stuff, but I didn't. And I had the helm, but I didn't have the chest piece. So I got that. I like it. I like the different outfits. So I'll be looking for those around the world as well. I want to find like some of those original ones. I know you can get them through like amiibos, but can't you just find them too?
I'm not sure. Some of them you can only get through amiibos, but I don't know. I'm sure that's not the case with everything.
I think that the ones I'm looking for, like you can do certain things, but also the Trial of the Sword is something that's really cool. That it intrigues me because it reminds me of the little island that, I mean, spoilers or whatever, but there's this little island that you can go to, and you have to basically complete somewhat of a mini version of this. It's this island, and you get there, and you lose all your stuff temporarily, but once you're on this island, you can't save it until you figure out how to unlock the shrine. And you start with just back in your little, sleep trunks or whatever you have, and you have to go around and find weapons and find food and whatever and get through it. And the waves are just like that. Like Chad said, it's kind of like a horde mode. You start with no weapons, no clothes, no shields, no bows, anything. And you have to basically go around and you look for a tree branch and you start beating some guys up. You take their weapons, then you start chopping down trees. You can get some, make fires and cook food that you find, and you can, get up all the way through there. I went through like maybe 4 waves, and I remember starting and thinking, I'm probably going to have to fight those guys, Lynels, because I don't think I've ever beat one in the game because I always just end up leaving it. Yeah, there's been no point for me to have to beat them.
Sure. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you get some cool things, cool weapons.
Yeah, the big trolls, like I'm fine beating those, whatever. But anyways, like this is the same thing. You can't save it. If you die, you literally go to your last save. So if your last save was like 10 minutes before you started the trial, that's where you go, which I found out.
Save it
right before you start it. And then also, the whole point of that is to fully unlock the power of the Master Sword, which means those of you that haven't found the Master Sword yet, spoilers to the game. Secondly, it's not destructible like the rest of the weapons are, but it does have, we've talked about this before, does have a power that if you use too much of it, it has to recharge. It takes however many minutes, 6 to 10 or something minutes. Yeah. But if you complete this trial, to my understanding, it never runs out. It's always got power.
That's awesome.
Which is really cool. And I have yet to actually, I've done all the Divine Beasts, but I've yet to actually go confront Ganon. So I'm actually wanting to do all of this first. And then I'm probably going to, just travel around before I ever beat it and look for a bunch of other stuff too. Because I really love this game. And I thought this was really cool. Obviously, it's not the story DLC that we're going to get later in, what is it, December or something like that.
They've said.
But it's cool. I mean, I really like it.
Yeah, it's neat. I got the Korok mask, so you put the little Korok leaf on your face, and anytime the Korok seed's around it goes, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's helpful.
So many of those things.
900, I think.
That's ridiculous. I don't know how many I even have.
Yeah. I want to make one suggestion to you before you end up beating Ganon. Try to get all the memories first. There is one memory that's in Hyrule Castle, so try not to go into the main boss room before you find that last memory that's up there, because there is a little extra. If you have all the memories and then defeat Ganon, there's something you won't get that if you don't have all the memories first. So that's all I'll say about that. All right, so that's the Breath of the Wild DLC. Very cool. If you don't have a Switch, try to find one because it's great. If you do and you don't have Breath of the Wild, come on. You're like the only person in America. All right, just a few more items. Anthem, the real big game. I know that's a little Anthem, the game that looks very similar to Destiny that EA showed off from BioWare at Xbox's E3 presentation. PlayStation 4, we found out, and I think we kind of knew this already, that it wasn't an Xbox exclusive, but it's also come to PS4. And this morning, PlayStation 4 put up a trailer of Anthem on their official Sony page. It was pretty much the same trailer that we saw at the Xbox conference. And then we find out with these people that are on the internet that can find out things, not only did it look just like it, it literally was the exact same trailer that Xbox showed, because they had overlaid poorly the R1, L1 buttons over top of the RB, LB graphic, and you could still see the like phantom LB/RB underneath their L1/R1 when the controls were shown up. So someone had paused it and gone at like 0.25 speed, and then zoomed in to where I think they were doing a super move basically where you have to hit the R1 and L1 at the same time, and you could see the LB/RB underneath the PS4 controller graphic. Shortly after that, the video was taken off of the PlayStation website and has not come back up.
So do you think this is somebody over there wanting to say, look, no, this isn't a Switch, we're going to get this too, instead of just waiting for BioWare to send them an actual trailer?
Right. I think obviously it's coming to PlayStation 4 as well. And I'm sure they want to get that message out so people understand that as soon as possible. And yeah, that could be possibly it. But I think the main problem people have with this is, did PlayStation, Sony just show a trailer trying to say that this is what it looked, this is the PlayStation version of it, but it wasn't. It was the Xbox One X version of that game, and they tried to pawn it off as being the PlayStation version.
I didn't even think of that.
I think that's where most people's like, whoa, problem is. And you're right, though. They should have, if they don't have the footage from their own system, why would you put it up? And then do it that poorly. This is the internet. It's 2017. People are going to find out. I mean, they dig into code to find out things. They're going to see bad stuff like that. So, again, in a week that there's not a whole lot of news, I just thought it interesting. I'm not trying to say, man, Sony, you suck. It's obviously coming. You want people to know that. But I don't know.
That's interesting. I mean, and it also makes you think, how many times this has happened before?
Oh, yeah, sure. Fair. Probably numerous.
This example.
Both ways.
Not Breath of the Wild. Anthem was arguably, I think on a lot of people's opinions, one of the best, if not the best looking game at E3.
Sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's bragging rights to Toad about, how good it looks on Xbox One X. So, I mean, it's just weird that, I mean, obviously there's a decision-making process that you would imagine they have to go through. And somebody somewhere said, hey, I can just do this. I mean, that's right. Got to be a conscious decision. I mean, obviously someone on purpose did that.
Yeah, you had to, right.
Do you think that somebody was lazy?
Or did someone just not
specifically told
tell the boss?
Just overlay it.
Maybe. It's hard to know. It's hard to know. So now every time a trailer comes out, everyone's going to be skeptical on what system it's being. I mean, they're on high-end PCs is what you see anyway, not running on the actual console, right. But nonetheless.
AKA the first Watch Dogs trailer.
Exactly. Yep, precisely. All right, next, Rocket League is coming up on its 2-year anniversary that the game has been out for 2 years already. And they're doing a little celebration starting on the 5th, where you're going to get a new arena for free. There's going to be new trophies and achievements, a couple new cars, new goal explosions. That's right. Different colored, different kinds of explosions when you score a goal. New engine sounds. Yeah, that's right. The cars will sound different. They all won't sound the same anymore.
Oh, wow. Boy.
They're adding 18 new songs to the soundtrack. And there's also...
I hope they don't get rid of that one that plays almost every time I start the game up. Like, it's almost the exact same.
Yeah, it sounds exactly like that.
That's the exact... To the Star Wars Cantina song.
Yeah, we're going to insert the Rocket League music right here, and you won't even be able to tell the difference between it and Dave just a second ago. They're also adding some Rick and Morty antennas, and I'm assuming you need to pay for those. But
no, you just trade for them.
They're continuing it. Or you trade for them, and people message you until you give them stuff. And I think it starts season 5. Competition also starts on the 5th, I believe, as well. So Rocket League still going strong. Obviously, we know it's coming to the Switch this holiday, and some cross-platform play, unless you play on PlayStation, also coming in the future. Finally, as Dave mentioned earlier in the podcast, Diablo 3, getting a new class, the Necromancer class. $15 will get you that class. And all the items that go with it. I don't think it adds anything to the story or any other modes or anything else as far as I'm aware. It's just for that class alone. A game that's been out, man, since 2012, maybe earlier on the PC. So there it is. It's tempting. If I knew we could play with Dave and he wouldn't fall asleep rolling in a corner, I would be all over that right away. All right, so that's all the news that we got for you this week. We're going to get into quickly what we've been playing. I will go first since I was on vacation. I thought I would get to play a lot more video games than I was able to, but being at the father-in-law's house, I didn't feel comfortable taking over his TV. Just like, hey, so I'm going to play some video games now. You can go watch Fox News somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I did get to play some. We had some of the nieces and nephews over. Hunter, which we've mentioned on the podcast before, and his girlfriend Caitlin, got to meet her, friends and listeners of the podcast. We played Drawful 2 and the Jackbox Party Pack 3, played Quiplash 2. Those are tons of fun. What a great party game. If you ever get a bunch of people together and you have a console, just download that game. Doesn't matter what it costs. Download Drawful, download Jackbox, and have a lot of fun laughing and just goofing off. So we played a lot of that. Also played a little bit of Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Man, I think it could be Game of the Year again this year, Dave.
Yeah.
2017's Game of the Year, Metal Gear Solid 5. Man, that game is so good. It's been forever since I played it. And as soon as I booted it up, and you see things from a different perspective after having beat it, especially at the very beginning there. But when you run into the man on fire and the whale on fire jumps out of the air and eats the helicopter, and then the unicorn that's on fire with wings has got the two people on it, and the game is just bizarre and awesome. It's just great. Metal Gear, if play Metal Gear Solid 5 if you haven't, because holy cow is that game great. So good. Then I also played some Battlefield 1, and there was some new maps that were put on there. A nighttime map, which is really cool. Love Battlefield. Then I played Next Machina because of Dave. That is Housemarque's new game, makers of Resogun.
Yeah,
that game is really good. Man, that game is fun. It's fast-paced, top-down, twin-stick shooter. You're saving the humans. Do you notice when you save the human, it says humans saved?
No.
All humans saved.
I thought it said saved.
I maybe I'm hearing it right. Just like it, I'm like, why are they saying saved? Maybe I'm wrong, but that's sure what it sounds like. Human saved. I'm like, that's not a word.
Because in Resogun they say saved.
Right, and that's what they should say. I don't know. Listen to it next time.
Obviously it's just the same voice clip used.
Yeah.
So she said it wrong one time, and they used it.
You'll have to listen. Maybe I'm crazy. But that's fun. That's a great game, man. It's fast. I haven't got all the way through it, but it's addictive. You just want to, even when you die, it's just like, I want to start back over and keep going. Yeah. I also played some Mario Kart 8 and some Breath of the Wild, as I mentioned earlier. And then I played 5-star, played in quotation marks, 5-star top 1,000 rated. 98 cents. Basically a 98-cent platinum trophy. Jordan, stop judging me. I can feel your head shaking over the internet from a different time.
That's the way the market is. Now. It's the way the system works.
That's right. It's there. I can buy it. Don't judge me.
Now, did you know, Chad, that Sony made them take this game off of the store?
Yeah, I was going to talk about that as well. 2 days after it came out, Sony asked the developer to take the game down because actually the title originally was 5-star top 1,000 rated trophy or trophies. It had the actual word trophy in the title, and then the description of the game was fastest trophy. 20 minutes to get the platinum trophy in this game. Like, they basically promoted it as one of the fastest trophies, platinums you could get. Come to find out, the company that developed it has a business where they sell wallpapers for your PlayStation 4 theme. 4K resolution wallpapers, and this was basically a marketing, not scheme, but a marketing way for them to get you to come to their website to buy, wallpapers for your PlayStation. In a 98-cent platinum trophy game, basically they took the wallpapers that they sell, and then like you would do a jigsaw puzzle, they cut them in squares and they would shuffle them up, and the goal was to get them back into order. And that's how you got the trophies. And you just had to do a handful of those, and you got the platinum. So as far as I'm aware, even right now, it is not back up on the store.
Interesting.
So, it's very that's the main concern, is that they were saying that you can't advertise it as the fastest platinum. Like, that's your selling point, is that it's just a platinum trophy that you can get, the fastest one that you can get, and just pay us money for it. But at the same time, I mean, the way I heard about it, obviously, it was kind of funny because Greg Miller's a big, huge guy on trophies, and the fact that we have some great games out there that don't have platinum trophies, and you've got games like this that do.
Yeah.
But Greg Miller
and they brought up
this and played it and got the platinum. So screw you, Jordan.
Brought up the fact that like My Name Is Mayo is still there, but they don't advertise as a fastest platinum, even though that might be a little faster. But anyway, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I don't care. I got the platinum, and I deleted off my hard drive immediately after. Yeah, so there you go. All right, Dave, what have you been playing?
Well, I played some Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain as well.
Yeah.
I played through the prologue and got myself out of the apathy stage, I guess. Anyways, did I say that right? Apathy? Muscle apathy? Apathy.
Yeah.
Atrophy. That's it. That's it.
Atrophy. Apathy is like the attitude towards it.
Yeah, apathy is a mental thing. Yeah. Feeling. Yeah, so, got them all bulked up and shipped me out of my way, and got Miller and took Miller back to Mother Base. And then I stopped the game because I was like, I have other things I need to play, and I've beat this game already, and I'm going to get sucked right back in because it's so good. The gameplay mechanic and the gameplay loop is just so incredible. I love it. I could talk about it all over. Chad's already talked about it. We've talked about it on the podcast a long time ago when it came out. So I talked about it a lot, like every episode for like a year.
Yeah.
It seemed like
episodes talking only about it.
So, anyways, I also played 5-star top 1000 rated. I also played Nex Machina. I played the Breath of the Wild DLC, as we talked about a little bit earlier. Again, really, really like that. I also played some Friday the 13th, which is fun. As always, it's got little buggies and stuff, but it's still so fun to play. And then, as Josh and I talked about last week, I played some more Prey, and I'm progressing through the game. Man, it's just so good. It's just so good, and I find myself wanting to make sure I'm doing everything and going and visiting all the areas that I want to visit on Talos 1, and I'm loving it. Chad, I think you'll like it.
Yeah, I have to go and download that. I haven't done that yet.
Well, I didn't buy it yet.
Oh, all right then.
I'm just saying you would love it.
I would love it if I could play it without buying it myself.
Yeah, that's how I played. I did buy Snake Pass for $11 or $12. I saw it on the stage, or I saw it on the store. It's like, I don't know, 40 or 60%. I can't remember it's discounted highly right now. But I heard some people on a podcast say it's it's totally worth $12. It's a really great game for $12 for a game. I was like, yeah, I'll get it. I'll play it. My kids, when I'm over there and they play on the Switch and stuff, they'll probably play it. So I haven't played it yet though, but I did buy it.
All right.
Anyways, that's all.
The Prey is what I've been playing, and I love it. It's so good. I Dave and I, again, were talking about it last week, and I feel like I'm pretty deep in the story. There's no way to know how far because they don't give you a percentage, but that being the case, like I was going and like doing some side quest type stuff, and one of them led me to an entirely new area that I hadn't been to and had kind of forgotten that I hadn't been in yet. And doing this side quest allowed me to get into that area and like explore that whole area. And so that was cool. It was cool that like there was still a whole part of the station that I hadn't been in yet, that far into the game. And you, at least as far as I know right now, you wouldn't even have to go in there if you weren't doing the side quest. So it's a completely optional, like little part of the station. But I thought that was pretty cool. It's really, really good. Story's got some twists and turns, some intrigue. You don't know who you can trust. And Dave mentioned it in our group thread, but there's a thing that happens at a point in the game that's triggered by a thing that you do in the game, and it's a pretty intense moment. And then that keeps being a recurring thing, like as you play through the rest of the game. But it's an intense moment, and every time it happens, it's intense.
I'll say that. Let me say this, Josh. It happened to me that one time I told you about. But then after that, it happened to me again on a different spot, and I took care of the issue.
Yeah, it's depending on where you're at. It can.
What's your favorite gun?
Right now, I use the shotgun. I think the most.
Yeah,
it depends on what I'm fighting, but the shotgun
relatively cheap to fabricate those shells.
Yeah,
but I really like the I can't remember what it's called, but the explosive laser gun.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember what it's called either. The thing
That's
that
the gun that I used
turns enemies green.
Yeah. Well, see, because we also talked about how there comes a point in the game where you can start to branch.
Yeah.
In your skill tree. I specifically left a separate save before you get to that point of the game.
And
I've not gone that route at all yet.
Oh, okay.
And so I think I'm going to continue to not go that route. So I've invested all of my neuromods into I've got a lot of my skill tree pumped up to where I can fully max upgrade all my weapons,
right?
And my special weapons or whatever. So that one was really like that weapon's beefed up. That's like big baddies come out. That's what I use.
Yeah, I don't think I've upgraded that one much. But yeah, and then so I don't think this is a spoiler either because you get this fairly early in the game, but the glue cannon is a weapon you get, and it's not like a lethal weapon. It's basically exactly what it sounds like, but there's a point in the game where there's a thing with that. I don't want to give too much information, but there's a thing with that at a point in the game, and like it turned a light bulb on for me, and I was like, what? And then that's kind of changed some of the way I've played this game too. So it's so good.
Wait, what?
They keep throwing like new things at you, or like little subtle.
You turned a light bulb on with the glue gun?
Yeah, I mean, we could talk.
You connect a current or something?
Oh no. We could talk offline about what it was, because it's something that may have occurred to you just.
Also,
anyway, but it's
but I sort of hit an end game.
Oh,
feature,
yeah.
And then was very surprised as to, because I thought, well, I'm just going to save it and then do this and see what happens.
Yeah, I did the same thing,
and I was really shocked at the at the reaction that I got.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, but it kind of changed my outlook on. because I mean, obviously it's a sci-fi thriller, so there's going to be twists. That's not a spoiler, but that's a point where I realized I know there's something real shady going on, but that like deepened my suspicion. Like, okay, all right, I got to get to the bottom of this because that ticked me off.
And that's what it's really good. The story is really good, and there's so many like little branches, and like we were saying it last week. There's so much detail, and like the books you pick up and notes you find, and like side quests. There's a lot of detail there, and the different crew members, and like the subplots going on with them, and it's really.
Did you
good.
how you like come across some of those rooms where it's like there's volunteers stuck in these things? Like, have you ever experimented on them, or did you release them?
I've only encountered one so far.
Me too.
And I did both. I
should have saved it and done it.
I saved and then I did it both ways. I think the save that I'm continuing on is one where I let him go. I don't think I killed him.
I mean, he had like a criminal record that like you're like, I don't really care if this guy dies, but at the same time, you're still murdering him by allowing that to happen.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming
there's a trophy back at the end.
There's a trophy for not letting one human die.
Oh.
Yeah, it seems almost crazy. I mean, obviously there's humans that die. Like you can't say like you wake up, yeah, and there's humans that are dead. But I mean, like for example, the ones that are I didn't know that, like the ones that are mind controlled, like if you get too close to them, just their heads explode.
Oh yeah.
But you can
crazy.
You can incapacitate them, and that won't happen. So they're considered saved.
Oh man, yeah, I've
already passed that point to where I
didn't get that.
I'd have to go back because this is a game that I am considering looking at the platinum. I'd have to put a lot of time into it, but it's enjoyable enough and it's different enough. The different decisions you make, I think, to where I can really see replay. It definitely 2 times, and probably more than that, just depending on.
It's definitely got replay value for sure, if only to experience the different types of play styles.
Right. Well, because I think obviously where I'm at now, I'm going to go one way, and then I'm going to replay it again and go completely the opposite way, and then I'll probably play it again and try to go up the middle.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at right now. Is like kind of in the middle.
Yeah,
but
I'm really tempted. There's a lot of times I really wish I could just.
You got to get it, Chad.
Sounds like fun. Fun. All right.
Yes.
Well, what we've been playing, which is going to bring us to our final segment of the evening, and that is a return to Game Scoops. 20 questions.
Scoop!
Good job. All right, so I've chosen the game this week, and you guys may proceed whenever you're ready.
Chad, is this game Letter Quest Remastered?
Oh my gosh.
Letter Quest Remastered. That was the fastest game of 20 questions ever.
We'll see you next week. Done. We're out of here. No. Chad, the game that you're thinking of.
We have on Game Station. We're out.
Are there talking animals in this game?
No.
All right.
No talking animals. Had to think. So
I wanted to make sure.
No main characters, but possibly he thought maybe some other. I'm going. Okay, is this game? Did this game originally release to the Xbox 360, PS2, or PS3, Wii era?
No.
Right, so not PS3, Wii. Did this game originally release to what would have been right before that?
Xbox,
like
PS2.
Xbox and PS2. I always forget that Xbox is like one generation behind.
Yeah.
Would this have released in the Xbox PS2 era?
No.
Wow, man. So it's either current gen or prior to that.
I feel like this is a smarter way to narrow down the time period
than the year.
The year that like we've been doing, because we usually do it by decade, but these consoles like cross over.
Yeah, because you ask the decade question first, then you try to narrow it down, so you're already one question behind before you get to it.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
Good point.
Was this released on current gen consoles?
Yes.
All right.
All right.
That was 4.
Okay. No talking animals. Is this a first party? No. I don't want to ask that. I don't need that. We don't need to ask that yet. Do you play as a human?
What's that?
Do you play as a human?
Yeah.
Is there only one playable character?
No.
Ooh. Okay.
Did you say do you play as a human or can you play as a human?
I said do.
Okay.
Do you kill things in this game?
Yes.
Current gen. You play as a human, multiple characters.
Yeah, more than one character.
Well, I'm trying to. This could be just me wasting our time, but I'm also trying to think in the lens of July 4th, Independence Day.
Oh,
but I don't know if there's any games that I could even think of right now. But I am keeping that in mind.
Well, I mean, we mentioned it already earlier, but Broforce, I feel like fits this criteria.
Multiple characters,
at least so far.
Okay.
So
kill things.
Let's see.
You could ask if it's like pixel art or whatever, however that would be worded.
I feel like I'm like debating here on a question you asked earlier. If I'm required to clarify or not.
Is it? Don't count this as one of my questions, mate. Oh, never mind. I was going to say, is it the can you or do you?
Yeah.
So apparently you can play as someone other than a human. That's
because you said do you play as a human?
You could be getting at.
Oh, I get you. Okay. So it's not.
So there's an option. There's an option.
So I guess I could have said yes, you can play as a human. Would have been probably more.
Yeah, I think either me or Josh would have picked up on that. I think.
Yeah.
If you said that.
I guess then that would be my more precise answer.
So I've not played that extensively. You said you beat it. As far as I know, those are all human characters.
Yeah. As far as I remember, Broforce is all human.
Okay, so that rules out games like Uncharted. That rules out games like, The Last of Us, technically last gen, anyways. But games like that. So it's either going to be like a Mass Effect type game or, although you can't play as. Well, I haven't played that game enough either, but I'm pretty sure you just always play as the male or female version of Pathfinder.
Also, no talking animals, though, too.
Correct, but those are aliens.
Right. I'm just, for clarity's sake.
Right. Okay, so multiple characters. There's Star Wars, like a Battlefront game. You can play as multiple characters. And he did say no. So aliens. The question of are aliens animals? That type of thing.
Yeah.
Because if it's not an animal, unless you're playing as an animal that doesn't talk, which would seem weird. I can't think of anything at that point.
What about like a fighting game? I guess you don't really kill necessarily in a fighting game, though.
Well, I mean, if it's Mortal Kombat, there's definitely fatalities.
That's true.
And Justice
League, those really animals or
so
a mutant game wouldn't have humans.
Yeah.
What?
After further investigation. Yeah.
Oh.
I had to think hard about it, and the more you talked about it, I was like, I better make sure. And so yep. Yeah, I would have answered that as a yes.
Okay.
So when I think of mutants, I don't think animals at all.
No, me either. But, I mean, most of America would disagree. That's why Professor X had to start that school.
Like a Marvel game, for example, they're all considered like superheroes and like either aliens or, I mean, none of them are actually animals, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Beast. I mean, but he's still a human that's like a mutant version.
Yeah, he's still just considered a mutant.
Yeah, so they'd all be mutants. They wouldn't be, even if they were like part animal, they're still mutants. So let's rule that out. I don't think it would be a Marvel game.
Yeah, probably not.
Or DC. Star Wars, those would be aliens, not animals.
Right.
I mean, I think that would be fair to say.
So maybe like a little bit lighter.
Yeah, there's like a Ratchet and Clank. But no, you can play as a human, so that wouldn't be that.
Yeah, it could be that. But maybe something like light like that.
It's not Rayman, because that's not a human.
Or it might be like
Diablo.
Skyrim-ish.
True.
Yeah, or Diablo.
Although those are like demons, and I don't know if there'd be talking animals. I mean, we still don't know if this is playable on all. I mean, I don't know if we want to waste a question on that, but we don't know what console it's playable on, or if it's playable on all. Could be a Switch game, which would really narrow it down.
Yeah, wherever you feel like going.
That's always a dangerous path, because if you ask if it's an exclusive, and it is, then you have to use another question to figure out what it is, or at least one more.
Yeah.
And if you just ask, is it a blank exclusive, and it's no, then that could mean it is still an exclusive. It's just not that, or it could mean it's not exclusive at all. And then you have to ask another question.
Yep.
So
it's been a while.
Chad.
Yeah.
First of all, what question are we on?
This will be question 8.
Question 8. I'm going to assume, Josh, that I played this game. I'm not going to waste a question on that.
Okay.
How about this, Josh or Chad? Does this game have multiplayer?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
Does this game have online multiplayer?
Yes.
Okay. It does have online multiplayer.
Actually, what I meant to ask was online co-op, but because that is different. I mean, online multiplayer can still mean co-op, but co-op doesn't necessarily mean the.
We can work with it.
Okay, so it's multiplayer and there's talking animals in it. So I mean, that rules out the Call of Duty games. It rules out Battlefield.
Is this a? Well, okay. Now I'm thinking Overwatch, Dave.
Okay, that'd be first-person shooter versus another one I'm thinking of, which would be Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale Games, which has a talking raccoon. Although, no, he would know for sure there's a talking animal in that one, so scratch that one.
But Overwatch, some of those characters are indeed animals, correct? There's a gorilla, I think.
Yep.
Among other things. Chad.
Yeah.
Is this a first-person shooter?
Yes.
Chad, is this the game that the Steel Boys are known for playing more than any other game on the PS4?
I mean, that's
a group
objective, isn't it?
Oh, come on. You know what I mean. We're narrowing down Overwatch without asking if it's Overwatch.
I know they've played a lot of other games lately.
Oh my God! Does this game have Winston the gorilla in it?
Hey! Huh?
Yes, it does.
Chad, is this game Overwatch?
It is.
Boom!
Good job,
Josh.
11 questions.
Yeah, I completely forgot about Winston at the beginning. That's why I was like thinking, I'm like, none of those are animals, right? Nope. And I forgot Winston.
Winston.
Nice.
The talking animal.
I'm trying to think if there's any other.
He's the only one. Everyone else is either a robot or a human. Because I looked to make sure.
We got it.
You got it. The guy who's never played it is the one that got it.
Well, you know.
You guys, I really did expect you to get there real quick, and you did once we clarified everything. So, good job. Real nice. Real nice.
We're back.
Overwatch. Yeah, that was Josh. You redeemed yourself after last week's.
Yeah, I had a real hard time, and I shouldn't have.
It wasn't as bad as I expect. The way Dave described it, painstaking. I expected it to be a lot worse than it was. So,
well, I think I also made it more palatable by the fact that I had music underlying it.
Yeah, that music's a little ominous at first, in there, the backgrounds, but yeah, it's good. So, all right, well, that's going to do it for us this week, episode number 124. Thank you, as always, for listening. Remember, if you want to win that PlayStation 4, get a chance to enter into that, get us a question or a topic for the month of July. Also, giving us $1 any given month also get you another entry. We hope you have a wonderful, happy, safe 4th of July. Hopefully you don't have to work. If it's nice, enjoy the fireworks, enjoy the food, and all that goes with it. America. We're going to say goodnight. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Piece of pizza. As I close my laptop.
So piece up here.
If I close it, though, it won't save my audio.
Upload it. Upload it first. Hi, YouTube. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Too bad none of you signed a couple. Let us know you subscribed. Oh.